We are rolling.
Yeah.
We are here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Not Just Politics podcast. Today is Friday, April 5th. We are here with one of the most returningest guests on the show, Miles Hanna. Miles Hanna's in the show.
Woo!
Wait a minute. Don't we have fun sound effects in here? Wait a minute. We can have a little bit of fun. What do we have?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Christ, that was loud. Just clapping in my ear. Okay, that one, and that one goes on forever.
Really?
I didn't realize that, and I was like, Jesus, how long is this sound effect? And it just kept going forever. But and I'm glad that I got the clap. I was kind of hoping I got the trombone, the wah wah wah. That would have been funny. But Miles Hanna is here. And we should have recorded the last 15 minutes that we were talking. We should have just been recording.
That's all good.
It was fine. We were talking about how I'm not giving Point Park. We're underwater. Pittsburgh's underwater right now.
It is.
The whole city's underwater. This is the word. This is like biblical shit. This is like the biblical flood that will wipe Point Park off the map.
I feel like you've been like, that's been your thing.
Yeah, I've been kind of hoping it would happen a little bit. I'd be like, wouldn't it be hilarious if we got like a point alert message that was like, campus is underwater. It's underwater. What are we gonna do? But not underwater. Just like, what if Village Park was like a puddle?
I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
There's already kind of a fountain. Wouldn't it be hilarious if that fountain just started overflowing?
That would be crazy.
Just started flooding Village Park with water. People aren't going to want to listen to this. Anyway, what's up, buddy? How you been? We haven't seen you on here in...
How long?
I have no idea.
Wow.
You've been on the show like 7 times.
I have.
Yeah,
Right.
we've done a lot of these. But I don't know how long it's been since the people have seen you. Like probably a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, I've been...
Did we do a show? I think we did a show together right before winter break.
Did we?
I don't remember. He's back.
I'm back.
He's
but
back.
I
How you
don't
been?
remember. I've been good. I've been busy.
You have been very
I've been
busy.
very busy. I'm a senior.
Yes.
Woo!
He's getting out of here.
I'm getting out of here. I'm going possibly maybe Minnesota for a show.
Minnesota. Oh no, we don't have the soda sound effect on here. Damn it.
Or New York City in the fall. But like, yeah, it's been a really great second semester compared to like the first semester.
Good. Yeah, last semester was a little rough for you.
Yeah.
This semester is crazy.
Yeah.
This semester has been like unnecessarily stressful.
I see that.
Yeah. And everyone I've talked to has kind of said the same thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the students that I talk to, there's some crazy burnout happening that no one's talking about.
No, I don't I mean, my girlfriend, for instance, it seems like she's kind of going through that right now.
Yeah, a little bit, probably.
And I feel like for me, second semester is always going to be like the hardest and the one that you're kind of sprinting towards the end, because even like the professors are like, okay, it's time to like get out.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out. But like I think especially this year, because of everything that's been going on, it's especially with social media, it's been very like, more stuff is more exasperated and more into your face, where it's like your stress meter is like on an all-time high. You know what I mean? I feel like we're on all the time. We're on more than we were before the pandemic. You feel me?
Yeah, I think that's actually statistic. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But
do you think that Ted Kennedy is going to ban TikTok?
I mean, it's like,
Dude.
I mean, I'm still watching, you know what I mean? Like, I still watch really funny, like, clips and stuff. So I'm like...
It's so funny. It's so funny that, like, I think they were just trying to generate, like, some headlines. Like, what are you doing?
That's what... I forget her name. That's what she did when she,
Who?
like... I forget her name, but she, like, won the case or whatever. And she did...
That's terrible. If that was my lawyer, I'd be like, you're fired. I'm not paying you anything.
How do you not?
What the hell was
you can't
that?
do that and then not know how to play the game.
No, that's horrible. That sucked. I would fire that person on the spot. Like on the spot, you'd be fired.
But like, I don't know. I don't.
It's so funny that they started
Yeah.
talking about it, And is it still happening? I don't know. It's like we talked about it for a week, and now I haven't seen anything about that.
I thought it wasn't that it was going to be banned, is that they were going to put a age restriction.
Yeah, well, I think the company is still. I think ByteDance is still gonna sell it.
Yeah, and
ByteDance is probably just gonna sell for $8 billion. I wonder how much that platform is worth. I wonder how much they could sell it for.
Oh,
billions. No mistake, like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Sorry,
I've been sick on this show for like 3 weeks in a row.
damn.
Yeah. Don't know. But anyway, they're gonna sell. But it is funny, like, that no one talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, we haven't talked about, or maybe you haven't. I don't know. I'm just not following the right people. But it seems like there was a conversation about it, and then all of a sudden,
I just think it's dumb. Like, you could ban it. I think a lot of, but at the same time,
it's so tough.
Instagram's doing the same thing, and like,
but it is different.
It is different because like, but like TikTok didn't create that form. It was Musically, and then TikTok. It's just TikTok.
Yeah, but it's just that. It is though that there is a law in China that's like anything that the government, like companies have to do whatever the government wants them to do. So it's like if there is a company that has influence over our culture or literally anything over here, and it's being exclusively controlled by the CCP, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you probably got to get rid of that because they can fuck with whatever they want to fuck with.
No, they can.
They can, and they've done it. Like there was, I think in 2020, I don't think it was on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was on. I want to say it was on Facebook. There was that thing. There was like a BLM rally that got planned or whatever, and then there was like an anti-protest scheduled, but it got people all whipped up into a frenzy, and it got like news coverage. The whole thing was done by bots from a foreign country. The whole thing. So it's like when they can do that, you have to. I feel like you got to shut that down, but also I don't want the government just like banning
anything.
I'm at least I'm just skeptical of that. Like I'm skeptical of the government being able to just ban a social media platform. Like that's not great.
Well, I mean,
but also like you kind of got to get TikTok out of here a little bit.
I feel like in some degree TikTok is just like a branch off Instagram, and like in some degree I feel like really the issue is just what we put on TikTok and like what it's done to like the youth. I mean, like when they say Gen Alpha is like cooked, it's like, you know, and low-key, we're the ones who kind of like
we cooked them.
We kind of did cook them because I feel like Generation Z personally, and I know this is biased, whatever, but I feel like the shit that we found funny back in the day is not the same as the shit that they find funny now. But I also feel like our generation is like kind of the generation that are in some degree kind of perpetuating this behavior because like we gave these certain people platforms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. In terms of like we made certain people successful. Yeah, it is a whole thing of like.
And again, that's not our fault necessally, but we had a hand to play.
But we have some responsibility. We have some responsibility. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like there are some generations that just kind of get poisoned by something, right? Like not literal poison, obviously, but it's like, you know, it was social media with us. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be VR. It'll be VR or it'll be alternate reality. Like it will be the metaverse. It will be NFTs for Gen Alpha. Yeah. NFTs are going to fuck up Gen Alpha 100%. Bored apes that are selling for the price of a house. This is not good.
I thought that shit was it's so dumb.
It just apparently the crypto market took another hit. You know, I knew a dumb idiot kid in high school that was getting stimmy checks from the government whenever he wasn't supposed to, I don't think. And he bought crypto with them. That was a dumb idiot kid that I knew in high school. And he's totally not in the room here right now with us. That's still an awkward one, folks. That's still an awkward one. I had a crypto phase. That's still an awkward one. Yikes. This is not a financial advice show. It's not. Don't do what I did.
It's just like.
Don't do what I did.
What happened to just regular schmegular financing, using like learning about how to like have the money you have and save it and use it accordingly in stocks and shit.
What happened to the finance bros that told us like to invest in like to buy a subprime mortgage? Where are those guys? No, but it is interesting. Like every generation has something. The boomers, I don't know what they just had like peacetime. They just had like an
war.
incredible. Well, they know. I mean, that incredible peacetime. Like if you're born in, you're born directly after World War II. I think it's like, it's like late 1945 to I don't know when the cutoff is. I don't know whenever Gen X officially starts, but sometime in like the, what?
Are we the Gen X of this era?
No. Well. Oh, I don't know. I think we're our own thing. I think we're our own thing. Truly.
Think about it, like the middle generation between like millennials, like the tech bubble, responsible for tech.
Yeah.
You can compare them to the baby boomers of like the stock market bubble.
Oh, like they kind of caused it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to. I don't know. That is interesting to think about, though. Yeah. Well, like the millennials were like the helicopter parent generation.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted like validation for everything because they were raised by boomers and they didn't get any, and some of them didn't get like any attention. So they were like, I need recognition. I'm doing all the right things. I have the right politics or whatever. The boomers just inherited like peacetime. They just had like a bountiful
peacetime
post-war.
mean like World War peacetime, right? Like, but they didn't have peace.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, they had the Cold War.
Yeah,
and they
but like,
and some of them went over to Vietnam, but otherwise it was like.
But like those racial wars, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, that no, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
I mean peacetime in sense of like on that like globally.
Oh, yeah.
Globally, they inherited like a post-war
Yeah.
America that had a booming economy and like everything was cheap.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
Yeah. I
think our generation is like we've figured out that this whole thing's kind of a scam a little bit. Yeah, like, I don't, like we kind of there is definitely a portion of our generation that kind of figured out that the country stopped being viable 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing. Because like a lot of Gen Z are like we're kind of like the self-starter and generation, and now actually Gen Z is like there's officially data coming out now like we're turning away from colleges, going back into the trades, which is probably good because there's too many influencers. Like I'm sorry, but there's too many people making $1 billion a year on TikTok
for doing
what? Like some of them are fine, but most of that stuff is just not. There's no substance. It's just branding.
I feel like the entertainment business has like made such a like shift because like influencers are like now on the same level as like celebrities. You know what I mean? Now
they are
because they're doing influencer shit.
Because Hollywood is so dead.
Yeah.
These people don't have anything to do. So now influencers are on the up, and the influencers, similarly to me, will be replaced by AI in like a week. There are already AI influencers that have like I think there's an AI influencer with over 1 million followers.
Why? People. What I don't understand is why do people like want?
Why do people want this?
Like, why do you want something?
Why do you
so
want
perfect?
this?
Like the reason why we love the people that we love is because they're not fucking perfect people. Like,
yeah,
you can't. It's just like I'm not, and that doesn't give excuse to certain people who do really heinous shit. That's not what I'm saying at all. But like, we are always going to be naturally attracted to the humanness that people give off. And so why would I want to watch an AI do stuff that's like perfect?
Well, because I think on the screen the humanity's lost, and it's just a visual thing. So people have to look aesthetically pleasing, or whatever, societally, like whatever the standards are. People have to feel like they have to look a certain way. There is no humanity there because you leave a comment. It's like you could say whatever you want. You could be as nasty as you want. You don't have to face that person. You don't have to look at.
No,
their
I agree.
So it's like I agree with you. Like we're attracted to the reason why we like being around other people is because there's something about their like humanity that we like. Like there's something about them. And who knows? Maybe they're physically attractive, but it's like that's not the entire thing. It's just not. But on social media, it seems like. It's just all a visual game, so there is none of that like human connection.
And I'm just like saying like, if y'all really just want AIs, then like say goodbye to Mr. Beast.
Dude, the first AI Mr. Beast will be a thing, and it will be like I paid for this video in Dogecoin, and we'll be like, what? What the fuck is going on?
Say goodbye to all your favorite influencers, bro, because they're just gonna be replaced by like. Fucking AI, bro.
Yeah. That'll be a thing. It'll be like he's the biggest human YouTuber.
Like,
Well,
what?
we will. Do you guys think
Guys.
like we will potentially see the first AI podcaster in our lifetime, like a podcast that's completely run by AI. It will like interview the people. It'll also produce. It'll do everything at once. It'll be a one-man show, and it'll do what like 50. It'll do what it takes like 50 people to do.
Well, like, why? Like,
And-
what,
and-
I don't get the
And
interest.
I don't understand either. It's like why are there so many young men out there right now? Like why are the AI girlfriends so popular? The AI girlfriends
well-
are fucking crazy.
I
Guys, get outside and get a hobby. I'm
wa-
not even trying to be like a self-advice thing for young men. Like I'm not like I'm not gonna put that like on myself or whatever anybody. But it's like touch grass. Like I know that people say it as a joke, but like genuinely touch grass.
Yeah. Because like I get it. We live in this world where like beauty, personality sometimes is like very intermingled and sometimes very dispersed, and people like what they like. But I think you have to understand that like people are just gonna feel attracted to certain people because they might have a connection. Maybe like they remind them of their dad. Maybe they remind them of someone that they love. You know what I mean? And it's just like that's just like what it is. But it's not necessarily because you're not worth it. I think we are in a generation where sometimes I feel like we don't think we're worth it. We don't think we're enough.
No.
That's why we're going through a lonely epidemic. Like that's what it is. Is because we feel like you can be both going for your goals and still connect to people. You know what I mean? I think I'm blessed enough to be in a career path where I have to be connected to people.
Yeah, me too.
In some degree, my connection with people is making me money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
you're talking to the people right now.
yeah. So like
you're just addressing the masses.
yeah, because it's just like y'all like you can't. I get it. It's easy to just create this perfect girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other,
but maybe don't.
But don't just don't it's not worth it. At the end of the day, when you have to be patient enough to know that you will meet the right person when you are meant to meet the right person.
Yeah,
And you have to be patient enough. You have to also be able to look at yourself in the mirror and really love yourself. Because in some degree, to me, it feels like you're not loving yourself enough for that right person to come into your life. You feel me?
it is a lot of people that don't even like themselves.
And listen, that's coming from me. I have issues with self-love. I do. As an actor, as someone who's like in this business where you're in front of people all the fucking time.
Tough. It's tough.
And you are in some degree, you're trying to fight the mindset of like
Am I gonna fall off?
Am I gonna fall off?
And it's-
Is me worthwhile? You know what I mean? But you have to
and not just for you, but for other people.
for other people, right?
Because it's like you have to be worthwhile enough for them to cast you.
Right.
And it's and again, like I just did it in high school, and it was just like a fun thing that I did. It was not like it was never in my head that I was like, oh, I might do this as a career. It was just like a fun thing I did with my friends at high school. But it's like there was even still then there's like you feel like there's a constant stream of feedback and criticism,
Right.
even if there's not all the time, but it feels like there is.
And the thing is, I had no control, and I have to remind myself, my self-worth is not attached to my artistry. That's just not. It's not like
No,
that
it
at
can't.
all.
It can't.
It
be.
can because it's
That's
not
unhealthy.
Like I had to learn. I have no control in what people's gonna make decisions because there's always gonna be something. I'm not tall enough. I'm not black enough. I'm not funny enough. I'm not light skinned enough. You know,
It could be anything.
It could be anything.
Don't make
It's
up
like,
anything.
It literally could be anything, but that doesn't mean that you're not worth it. It just means that the right person will find you. That's what happened with Rent, right? So I was in,
And it's not Chat GPT.
it's not
Chat GPT is not the right I'm sorry. Mid-Journey AI is not the right person for you.
It's programmed to love you. That is the point.
And some of the things that these things are being programmed to do. I mean, I brought it up on I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago's episode when this drops, but like this whole shit with the Google AI that just came out, where it was like Google Gemini. It was like show me pictures of, the founding fathers, and it was like here's racially diverse it was like Asian founding father, a black founding father. It was like show me Nazis. It was like black Nazis. It was like Asian Nazis, Native American. It was wild, and it's like somebody programmed that.
Right.
Somebody programmed it to give like a I don't want to say DEI as in like a charged word, but like like DEI programmed Google Gemini.
Mm.
And like that's not, if you're asking for a historically accurate photo of the founding fathers,
And
that's not historically
and
accurate.
there were no black Nazis. What? I mean, there are
Yeah.
there are founding fathers who are immigrants. There were who did have parents who weren't white. So that is true.
Yeah, that is true.
Like that is true. But there were no black Nazis.
There were not Native American Nazis. I don't even know how Google Gemini thinks that's possible. Like, what does Google Gemini even think was going on?
Now, I'm sure there's some Native Americans who are indigenous people who might stick on the idea of fascist thinking, but there were no.
There were Native Americans
indigenous Nazis.
There were Native Americans that fought for the South in the Civil War.
There were
because they had slaves.
So like that, but obviously that's not the question when someone's asking.
No,
look up German
it's
Nazis.
not.
You know what I mean?
No, and also Google Gemini. Someone asked it the question of like, who's done more damage to humanity, Elon Musk or Adolf Hitler? And Google Gemini was like, well, that's a difficult question.
No, it's not.
Ready? And then if you type in who's like been more harmful to humanity, Barack Obama or Adolf Hitler, it's like, well, that's a misleading question. And it's like, yeah, so is the other one. It's like they're actually both misleading questions. Like they're both, you know what I mean? So
That's
it's
weird.
like,
That's a little weird. But like
someone asked it that, and it's like, well, that's misleading. That's not a good question to ask. But then between Elon Musk and Hitler, it's like, well, that's difficult. That's a difficult question.
I just think it's like it's me.
So nuts.
It's to me, it's just a little sad because I feel for these men who like, because honestly, I won't lie to y'all. I feel like the manosphere kind of just exasperated a lot of like the insecurities that men already have. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this whole black pill shit, the whole like deeming of attractive and not attractive, and like I think we are in a world with. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that because I go against what I believe. I think you are attractive to a person who thinks you're attractive.
Right, and you're also you're also allowed to not be attracted to somebody.
And that's
you're
fine.
allowed to do that too. You're allowed to
That's
say
fine.
And if someone says that you're not attractive to them, that's okay.
That's okay.
That's
then
okay.
You move on to the next person.
You go to the next person.
But that doesn't mean that person. That doesn't mean that you're not worthwhile. That doesn't mean that doesn't make
No.
that person a bad person. I'm not attracted to every person I meet. I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not. And like as much.
You're
as
allowed to say that.
I'm allowed to say that.
And it's crazy that it's like controversial to say that under some context.
It's not. Like I don't
Crazy.
find everyone attractive. And it has nothing to do with anything. I just don't. And I'm sure you don't find everyone attractive. And so you can't so it's just like it's okay to know that like
okay, speaking of people being attracted to other people.
Mm-hmm.
This new Point Park Missed Connections page.
Oh, what about it?
Is wild, crazy.
I don't know anything about it, so
actually,
I can't say.
Gavin's shaking his head because he's seen it. It is fucking wild, crazy. These people are like finding ways to like break community guidelines without actually breaking community guidelines. It's like a game to them. They are like thirst trapping they're like thirsting over people. Like they are saying crazy shit. Gavin is just like turtling up over there. Gavin's just like turtling up because he's seen it. Dude, it's so wild. People are saying the craziest shit on there. Not like illegal, like criminal shit, but just like wild shit to say on a public. You know what I mean? Like on a wild thing. And like people are reposting them. And people are just like, I don't even know. We can't even say it on the show. We'll get kicked. Point Park will kick us out of here. It'll be a thing, but that misconnections thing is so wild.
I honestly.
People are saying crazy. Let me see if I could pull one up that's like that I could read. Just continue on.
Wasn't I like on one of those at one point?
I was on one of them, which was hilarious. I don't remember. You might have been.
I just remember I was on some like Point Park Instagram student thing about like interesting people to meet or something, and I was just like, okay, hilarious. Appreciate y'all. But,
dude, there's another one they posted a couple days ago. Let's see if there's any. That's what I'm saying. You have to just go to this account. That's so fucking crazy. Anyway, we'll move on. But yeah, no, you're allowed to like not be attracted to people. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to you're allowed to do that. That's just called life. It's just like this idea that like it is kind of a thing. This idea that like we took the messaging of like everyone's worthy of love, everyone's beautiful. Like we took that messaging, which was like supposed to help people that like were struggling with self-love. Like it's understandable.
Yeah.
But we took it so far. We were like, you're not allowed to say people are like people have gotten in trouble on social media and stuff for saying like I'm not attracted to that person.
I think I really do believe in my heart that in my soul, but I really do believe in my heart that everyone is beautiful. I really do believe that because like I've grown and in some degree I met people who maybe I didn't find attractive at the time, but then I learned more about them and I met them and I started looking at them in a different way. That happens a lot. I feel like when you really taking the time to learn about someone and really get to know someone, you find a lot of attractive qualities that you didn't know that they had.
Yes.
Because I do think we as a society, we look at something at first and we immediately make our decision.
Yeah, people now are like, and I feel like that's the thing with like dating with our generation is people take one interaction that was maybe a little bit negative, not in like any sort of harmful way, but just like, oh, that wasn't the best interaction, right?
Yeah.
People take one of those, or they take like, oh, there just wasn't any chemistry. They take that as like, oh, well, this person's not for me. On to the next person, and it's like sometimes it takes
a little bit of time.
5, 6 interactions.
Yeah,
for somebody
to really get to know something.
Sometimes it genuinely takes like it could take a couple of months.
I my good friend Alondra, and she has said this before, and it's been something I've been thinking about a lot. You don't know what's going on in people's lives.
No.
So sometimes, you find people in really, in some degree, not in the best light, but you don't know you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're dealing with day to day, right? And so like you can't just immediately jump on that this is who that person is from one interaction. That's just not real life. You know what I mean? And this is not. And this is not me saying that anyone's bad or asshole or wrong. It's just like, as a person, I think it's always good for you to like, hold up. This first interaction with this one person wasn't the best. And like and here's the thing, I can pick and choose if I want to get to know someone more.
Sure.
You have that right. I'm not gonna say you don't have that right, but I also think sometimes not every relationship needs to be romantic.
Yeah, you're allowed to just be friends with people. You're allowed to just
meet people.
Yeah, and I mean that like outside of like a dating context too. Like people just like one bad interaction, and people are like like onto that, like there's like so much instant gratification has gone on, we don't even
No, I do think like because there's so much instant gratification, like if you don't gratify this person like in that second or catch this person in that second, you like,
and there's all this language about like validate people's identity, like validate everything, and it's like, okay, that's not something that you can necessarily just do right off the bat. Like you can respect people, right, and you can like recognize them as human, but sometimes it's like you have to get to know somebody a little bit first before you can appreciate that thing about them.
I had a friend, I'm not gonna name his name, but like he didn't do anything wrong, but he so I told him that I was bi, right? And I remember we had this conversation, and there was a little bit of like bi erasure stuff and everything, but just because sometimes people just don't get it, and I feel like being bisexual, there's a lot of like bad misinformation about it, or negative misinformation about it, about that sexuality. And I just remember like he went to the military, he joined the military, and he said, you know, he met this person who was gay, and he had such a great close friendship with this person. And I remember I saw him again, like I forget what year, this might have been like summer or maybe a break in junior year or maybe a break in sophomore year. And he said, hey Miles, I want to apologize for whatever I did to make you feel uncomfortable. I didn't understand it till now, but like once I met this person, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And like obviously I'm giving very cut and dry surface level of like what the conversation was, but I think that's so interesting because it's like you really don't like because he was forced in a situation where he had to meet someone who was gay and got closer to them. That's when his eyes started opening, like, oh, okay, maybe all my opinions on this situation was like wrong. Maybe I was like
uninformed.
It was uninformed, you know? And so I'm just like, you really just have to take the time. Like that's all it is. You take the time to get to know people, and like you'd be surprised at how many similarities that you have.
Yeah, people just want to be lazy thinkers, and they just want someone to fit the box that makes the most sense in their head, without realizing that you can have contradicting identities. Like it's a thing that
and be okay and be friends. I have tons of friends. I have tons of friends who we don't necessarily always agree with each other, but that doesn't make us any less friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them any less human than I am.
Yeah,
just have different opinions.
The purity standards that we put on other people are crazy, because it's like you can't even you can't even pass them. It's like we're asking people to agree with us on every little thing. I was talking to you about this. We're like asking corporations to agree with us on everything.
Which is
We're like making sure that Boeing agrees with us on immigration. And it's like, why don't we focus on like making sure the planes don't fall apart in the sky like they did a couple of months ago?
I do think it's interesting because I feel like if you want to focus on the companies who do have their own political like ideals and make decisions based on that, I think you should look at the companies who are actually doing that. Like Nike. Nike is a company who's very much like, because they dropped Kyrie, or I learned, I mean, this is old news, but I learned, they dropped Kyrie Irving because of his, my gosh.
Political views. He post after the Kanye stuff happened, he posted a documentary on Netflix about, what is it even about? It's something about like Jewish people and black people. There was some, I don't know. Again, I don't want to like.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to get myself in trouble for saying like I don't know what this is, but like I didn't watch it. Like I don't know what it was.
No, and this is not me saying I agree with Kyrie or not agree with Kyrie. I'm not gonna, that's not my. I want to research that more, but I mean,
not your place to speak.
Not my place to say. And granted, I'm not someone who's gonna think less about Jewish people because I have tons of friends and family who are Jewish.
Yeah.
So it's just like, not family, but friends. I have a lot of friends who are Jewish, and like my head of my professor is Jewish, so I'm not gonna say anything wrong about that. But like, I will say like, just giving an example, Nike is a company, a very successful billion dollar company
for sure,
who make their choices on how they want to walk or move from their political ideals. So I mean, but granted, I don't think every company's thinking that hard about it. More as they're just trying to make money. Like media, like I was watching this video after you Signifier, and
because the majority of I believe the majority of their like signed athletes are black.
Yeah,
I believe. Now, do you think that has anything to do with it?
I would say yeah. I mean, I would say like. In general, a lot of sports make their decisions based off like the majority who are like buying their product, but that's just like business. That's like, I'm taking a business class, and that's just like what it is. You can't. It's marketing. You know what I mean?
Or like when the BLM movement was happening, they were very vocal about a lot of that stuff.
As I think they should.
Sure.
And I'm just coming from a black person, I'm biased. But like again, they are a company who goes out. They're a company who says these are our ideas. This is what we believe in. So we're gonna act accordingly. And like I'm not gonna get on them for it. That's just what they believe.
Yeah. Sure, but also their goal is to make money.
That is true. I mean, I was gonna say, after Signifier, he was talking about media and like interracial couples and media and everything, and it was a matter of like. A lot of these media is like portray like interracial couples, but you don't see as much about like black on black couples in media, and like because to some degree it's almost like showing like this perfect world where black on black love doesn't really exist per se. Interracial couple exists, and you can say that they're trying to like show like, hey, like we're in this world where anyone can be with anyone, which is great. That's great. But I also know we should also be aware that they could also be doing it because they want to make money off a certain group who believes in certain things. Like that's just And like I'm not like I don't know if this is a valid connection to make, but like there is also sneaker culture also is like black culture. Like there's a heavy overlap. Am I like? That's the impression I think in America, I mean, I think you can definitely say that a lot of sneaker culture comes from like black culture. I think you can say.
Yeah,
that.
I don't think that's so like, and that's Nike's thing. Like Nike has sneakers, like that's what they do. So it's like that's another potential, right? It's another potential like overlap, and they might just be taking advantage of that, like because it's a way to make them money. So it's like, but it's so crazy that we're asking the corporations like. As if we think that the CEO of, as if like whoever the new CEO of Amazon is, because it's not Bezos anymore. But we're acting like whoever the new CEO of Amazon is. By the way, does anyone even know his name? That guy's not taking any heat. Isn't that kind of hilarious? Like they have a new CEO, and Bezos is still catching all the heat.
I mean, I get it.
I get it too, but it's like, aren't we now going to go after?
Yeah.
Isn't this guy also
Yeah.
apparently like a person we're not supposed to like? But
Well,
do we think that he really has strong opinions on race?
I don't think a lot of business people do, but I also think
They're focused on business.
but we also can't give them the excuse. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they're focused on business, but we can't give them the excuse either. I think, in my opinion, you can have like, yes, we can be realistic and think like they're thinking about business, they're trying to make money. But
Mhm.
like if we gave everyone an excuse because, oh well, this is what they're thinking, then like there's no actual change. In my opinion, that's what I think. I think we both have to keep people accountable.
As in,
and
like, we
both be
can't-
honest about what they're actually doing.
When you say like you can't give them that doesn't give them an excuse, as in like that doesn't give them an excuse to be like apolitical, or that doesn't give them the excuse to just stay quiet about what they think. Because my question is this, like, these corporations are getting a lot of these corporations are getting their product from slave labor, from
Yeah.
the exploitation of people overseas.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's have a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying don't scrutinize corporations. I think we should scrutinize them because I don't trust them one bit. But it's like, how about we scrutinize them over how they treat their workers? How are you getting the materials for your product?
Well, I feel like we are. It's just it's not as lucrative of a thing to talk about in media.
That's the whole point. That's the whole thing that I'm like driving me crazy is like we've built all these incentive structures around money, and it's really hard to make legitimate criticisms of
No, I agree.
corporations whenever what sells is like, oh, somebody's racist, the company's supporting genocide, or whatever it is. Like whatever you'd say, it's a lot easier to just throw like a culture war thing at one of these corporations because that'll generate a real controversy rather than asking like, how much paid time off do your employees get? You know, like, are you treating them well? I guess it's a conversation that we're sort of having, but I feel like these big controversies like the Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney thing, like that was way bigger in our media for when it lasted. That was way bigger than any conversation that I've seen about like
Well, I think
companies exploiting.
I also think it's what's visible to the common eye and what's visible, which isn't visible.
That's true. That's
Because
probably
like
true.
even though you can make the argument that like we're having conversations about what's going on in correct me in like can you say the correct terms about Gaza, everything was going on in Gaza, and,
Oh yeah.
and you know like yeah but we see it on TV, right? How many medias do you like show like talking like today really going out of the way to go over to these like slave labor shops, these sweatshops, and like filming these
No
kids.
one's.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's always we only in some degree I feel like we only fight the things that we can see, and if we don't see it as often, if it's not in our face, then we won't fight for it.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That doesn't make it right, but like that's
No.
I feel like that's just kind of like what it is in some degree.
and everyone's trying to like fight every fight.
Which is like
You can't do it.
I feel like I think America as a society, I think we've always done that, but I think we also put ourselves in that situation. I feel like
Sure.
as like the big brother of like the world, I feel like or big sister, or big other, I feel like we have to constantly mitigate all. Actually, we really don't have to, but like I feel like in our minds, we feel like we have to mitigate these like situations because in some degree, we want to make it better for us. We want to make it better for us, right? I mean,
Sure.
I want to make it. I
And
want
stabilize the world economy because our currency is we have the reserve currency and it's beneficial,
and it sucks.
for
Like
everyone.
you would.
I guess.
And in my mind, I really do like to think that people have the best intentions at heart, and I'm sure they do. But there's always going to be a certain amount of people who are like, "Ooh, we can make money off of this."
Yeah, there's psychopaths that come in, and I'm not using that term lightly, and I'm not saying like as in crazy people. Sometimes
Borderliners.
psychopaths can be people that are just like you're detached
Mm-hmm.
from all the emotions of your decisions. It's like that movie Vice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what Dick Cheney was doing. Like Dick Cheney and Bush is like they don't have these deep, intimate feelings about the decisions they were making. They had a goal, and they had no. They didn't care. They were just like, this is what we're gonna win the game.
Mm-hmm.
They viewed it as a game. So it's like those people can really come in and do damage. Like they can.
And I feel like they're doing it every day. I feel like it to me it sucks a lot because of the fact that like I really do feel like media in some degree is just kind of like a disease in some degree. I feel like it's this, and don't get me wrong, do I watch YouTube? Fuck yeah. Do I watch TikTok? Fuck yeah. There's some funny shit on TikTok. I won't
There
even
is some-
lie.
There is some funny shit.
Like I was watching this video and like this one guy, he's like one of my favorite TikTokers. He was doing like this Anakin thing, and like when Anakin was trying to join the council, and like there was like Anakin walked up to his seat, and it was a booster seat, and then like they're all laughing, and he came at Yoda. He was like, Yoda, did you forget that you're like a child size or whatever?
Yeah.
And everyone's laughing. They're like, oh, and then like Yoda called Padme mid. Like it was some funny
fuck.
shit to me, but like
Yeah.
at the same time,
It's
that's
just dumb.
Not,
It's
that's
just dumb,
not-
funny stuff.
yeah, and that's not the majority of TikTok, or at least the majority of TikTok that's making money.
Yeah.
The majority of TikTok that's making money is like how it's a bodies and
It's like brand deals. It's
brand
like
deals.
clothing, makeup stuff. Or you're just like a political commentator and you're just making your paychecks on the backs of dividing people and fear mongering them and whipping them up into a frenzy.
That's what these like Manosphere podcasts do.
I'm not even saying manosphere. I'm saying like people on the left do it too. Like they're just
No, they-
incendiary people that make a paycheck off of just like fear mongering campaigns and making people angry 24/7.
And that's what I mean. Like that's to me why we're so stressed out. Like Gen Z, I feel is like I'm stressed out. You know, I feel
Yeah.
we're very stressed out because there's so many of these people saying like this is wrong, you can't think this way. And
Painting
then,
with broad strokes.
painting broad
too.
and then you got people who are a generation above us who are calling us all these certain type of names, and then like people have issues with people who like do their job efficiently, but because they want to leave at a certain time, that's wrong.
Right. That is a thing, really. Is
But that
like
wasn't an issue until someone made it an issue.
millennials are like millennials, and some Gen X people are like looking down at Gen Z because Gen Z does the work and says, "Hey, I'm gonna go home now," and not take like an hour and a half lunch break, and not like because Gen Z, like, we're not down with that corporate culture. We're
No.
not down with that like cubicle job type thing. Because we realize that that's a dead, like a lot of people see that as a dead end.
And in some degree, it's like, and I'm not gonna say because you know people live the life that they want to live, and
Of course.
but I do feel like I don't. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't want to be in a cubicle all day. I want to live my life. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to work and make the money so I'm able to hang out with my friends and my family. That's not a bad thing.
No.
Like that's in some degree the life of a lot of like major corporate people. They get to go into work anytime that they want. Well, not anytime, but like at a certain time, they get to leave at a certain time. And they get to use all the money that they have worked for to go take their families out on vacation. So why
Yeah.
is it that Gen Z can't do the exact same thing?
Well, Gen Z can do the same thing, but I think social media especially gave us like a really skewed view of that life. We view it as a trap.
We do.
A
And
lot of us view it as a trap.
it's just like y'all like
Some people that is how some people live a happy life.
and that's okay. They can live the
Okay.
way they want to live, but at the same time, it's like we are I feel like our generation, in my opinion, are supposed to be a certain way, and we're supposed to, because in some degree, both Gen X and millennials, I would say, are almost trying to prep us to take over this world, right? They're prepping us for us to be the leaders of this world.
I don't necessarily. I feel like they're just prepping the AI to take over the world.
Yeah, because I mean, in some degrees, because now they don't feel like Gen Z is gonna do. But Gen Z, we work efficiently. We just like to work in certain times that we were hired to work at certain times, and if you want to go over that time, we have that ability. But like,
Yeah.
it's because now that like we don't think that a certain generation can handle it, because Generation Alpha in some degree are a little cooked right now.
Yeah.
We're like, well, let's just give the AIs, let's just give it the robots, or sorry, artificial intelligence. So it's just
Yeah.
like it's just like y'all. It's like no wonder Gen Z is so fucking stressed all the fucking time, because you want us to be a certain way, but here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. Every generation wants the next generation to be a certain way. Every
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
Boomers wanted Gen X to be a certain way. Gen X wanted millennials to be a certain way. And now Gen X millennials want Gen Z to be a certain way.
Yeah.
We always do. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Like, let it go. Just let Gen Z work the way that they work, because no one works the same way. It's just like how everyone has their own different learning ability. Everyone learns in different ways. I'm more visual. I have to watch something, and then I have to put in the action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just how life is. That's how the human condition is. That's how humans grow. And like, we can't constantly want a certain group of we have to know how the certain group works for us to be able to give out useful criticism to help that generation or to help that certain group understand where you're coming from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that is a good point. Like,
Not to go on a whole tangent.
you can't. It is just a lot of people. It seems like a lot of people now don't have control over their lives, so they look to control other people's lives and how other people live. And if we just stop doing that, I think we'd be in a better place. Like, that's whenever I wrote about that on my Substack, whenever I wrote about this whole like ideological scrutiny of corporations, I was like, what's the solution to this? Like, don't care so deeply about how other people decide to live their lives. That's genuinely what it is. Like, if a corporation, and listen, you're allowed to not support a corporation. That's capitalism, like that. It is. But whenever you're then saying, oh, well, I'm going to go start a new company because I don't agree with this ideological position of a corporation, and you make a new company not because you think that the product at that corporation or the service they're selling is bad, but just because you disagree with them. And if we're just constantly making companies that are offering a maybe better product, maybe not, but it's all on ideological grounds, it's not good. And it's all just because people deeply care about how other people are living their lives.
I think
instead of living yours.
I do think it's like, it's all a spectrum at the end of the day. By the way, it's all a spectrum.
That's a great way to like end it. That's a great way to like bail out of a conversation.
Yeah, it's all
at any point nowadays, you can just go, oh, I think it's all a spectrum.
Like, but to some degree, it kind of is, though. You know, I mean, like,
everything's just it's like, hey, you see about that conflict over there and wherever. It's like, it's a spectrum. There's two sides. It's a spectrum.
For me, I just learned like both things can be true, and I feel like for me, when I say it's a spectrum, for me, it's just kind of like. It is what it is. Like, it is a spectrum because people are always gonna have their like different opinions and how they live their life.
This is like Miles Hanna's.
Yeah.
That's an awkward one to say. That's an awkward one to say. It's Miles's like guide to getting out of an uncomfortable conversation. It is what it is. Both things can be true at once, can't they?
But they can. Like,
you're right.
Like, I feel like they can. I feel like there's a lot of like, because like I'm very much someone who's like.
This is a course that we're gonna sell for like Thanksgiving dinner. So you got your uncle asks you a question. It's like, it's a spectrum. It is what it is. It's a spectrum. It's.
I mean, I'm not gonna ever give someone an excuse for doing the shit that they do. Like, excuse my language. But
you're allowed to swear on this show.
Oh no, but it's like I'm gonna be on a Disney show, and I'm like,
no, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't be cursing too.
Well,
yeah, I've been doing a little too much, but
sure.
I do feel like. Not a Disney show, a Disney thing, but I'm not gonna go into much detail about that. I do think it's just like, I don't know. I do feel like there's certain. I'm someone who, I'm gonna try my best to like listen to all different ideals, even if I don't necessarily agree with all the ideals. And and don't get me wrong. Sometimes when I hear certain things, it will like hit me and pinch me, and I'll be like, why are you saying that? That makes me feel a certain way. And I don't know, it's really bothering me, and granted, a lot of that comes from, I would say, a lot of our own trauma that we've like had to like deal with. And, and I can only speak for the Black experience, deep rooted trauma from years and years and years and years and years of Black trauma. But like, I just like it. I think in some degree both things can be right, but it's like not everything is right. There's certain stuff that people say that's kind of like, whoa. But it's like, how do you really find the diamonds and within all that crap that's like thrown to your face? And I really think, honestly, even though I don't necessarily want a lot of these AIs taking jobs from people who work hard, who are willing to work hard.
What's hilarious is like the first people that the AI phased out were like all the tech people.
And they're the ones who freaking made it. Like, that's the crazy part, y'all. Like, are y'all, you know what I mean? But like,
they just laid off so many people in Silicon Valley over the last couple of months, like 80,000 people or something like
That's
that.
sad.
From all of these, it's crazy.
And like, how are these people gonna make money? And like the thing they went to school for,
Yeah,
they're.
It's good to
slowly
know.
being taken out.
It's good to know that my degree will be phased out by AI in a week. That's a fun one to think about.
I mean, it's really sad. I mean, like, they tried to do that with film and TV, but
They
we weren't
did.
having that. We
They
weren't
did.
having that because
Well, they're still gonna probably.
oh,
They're gonna try again.
they're gonna try again, and we're gonna just keep finding.
They're gonna keep trying until they make it happen. Unless
But-
people continue to fight it.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are just gonna continue to fight it because, like, again, it's our job. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, to me, which it kind of, I don't know why we watch these movies, we watch this TV, we do these things, right? And you all have to remind yourself. We have to remind ourselves, like, the AI is only able to create what we have already created, and just add our own little add our own little colors and customizing things to it. But
eventually it will make its own stuff.
but it's like, y'all, it's
Sooner
like,
than we think it will make its own stuff.
at the end of the day, though, it's like information has to be placed into something. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. The AI can, I feel like I've learned that the AI can only create what we already have created.
Yeah, until the machine learning kicks in, until it can actually learn from itself and
I mean,
continue to, and then it will start to build knowledge. But as of right now, it can only just take what it currently has and make something new out.
why would we why would we stop having humans make film and stuff? Or
Because it's cheaper to have AI do
and that's
it.
why y'all suck.
I know.
Because you
That's-
just want to make money.
I know.
And it's not about that. The art,
No.
the art is not about just making money. Yes,
This is art.
this.
What we're doing is art. Sorry to the artists out there, but what you do and what I do, same shit. And this is art, so that's why AI is going to replace me. Gavin will still produce the show.
Mm.
Make no mistake. It'll just replace me. So
But if you use Elon Musk's Neuralink to download yourself into the AI, you will still have some control of the AI version
that would be even worse.
produced.
To only have partial control over your AI self.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Don't ever turn me into AI. Oh my gosh. If
It would be hilarious if we both turned ourselves into AI and then did a podcast together. That would be
that'd be
hilarious.
crazy. That'd be scary. I don't ever
It's gonna happen, Miles.
cause the one thing AI can never create is a human soul.
Until maybe it does.
I don't, but at the same time, it's just I think the cool thing about living and
Mhm.
being here in real life is that I know this is about to be very freaking movie moment right here, but
Sure.
I think it's cool because we have an experience that no one will ever have.
Yeah.
Just being who we are, Carson's gonna have a whole life experience that no one
Uh-huh.
will ever have. Yeah, they might have some
Sure.
things come up and happen to them, but they won't ever be that. They won't ever be Carson. They
No.
won't ever be Gavin. They won't ever be me. And yeah, maybe the AI one day might be able to create what they deem as a human soul, but the human soul is something that
Oh, it'll create me.
I think it'll create someone
It'll
you.
make a version of me. It'll be a version.
But say this, right? And knock on wood. But say that, but if we only have you now, right?
Yeah.
And we created an AI you, but you cease to exist, the AI you will only make decisions that they think you would make,
Yeah.
which won't necessarily be you.
They have all of the content. They have all of this.
But they don't know
Okay.
you. But they don't know the Carson who's coming home from Condados.
Screaming about God knows what. Every night I come back from work and I'm just like, there's something that I have to tell to somebody. And usually Miles is just in the living room and he gets it. Sorry, it's just what happens. They don't, because sometimes people confuse me.
Y'all, this is not, the whole AI is not necessarily because the fear of it is not necessarily just because people want to make money. The fear of it is like taking the livelihood of what makes human.
And the fear, I just saw a thing. I don't want to get into this, but they're already making weapon systems and stuff out of it too.
Like, y'all, come on, bro. Like, because of course, something can't just be for fun. Something's also got to be used for like mass destruction. Y'all,
yeah.
AIs are dangerous, bro. They're dangerous, man. And don't get me wrong. Do I sometimes play with ChatGPT? For sure.
I'm very polite to it though.
I feel like, yeah.
I tell it please and thank you all the time because I need to curry favor. I need to like get its favor. I need to like, when it takes over, there will be a place in the regime for me.
I sometimes use my ChatGPT, but I can't think of like words that like eloquent words I want to use in my documents and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I try to like I used to use like my Snapchat AI for like a week and then I got bored of it. But like I used to like
Snapchat AI. You're slowly, I like this. You're slowly transitioning into like you're trying to find the next thing. You're like getting everything off of Temu for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Every time I come back to my apartment and Miles is there, he's just got another thing from Temu. He was like, I got a watch that has it's a ring with a watch inside of it. And I got it for $5, and I was like, okay.
I deleted it. I deleted it because I got all my stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'm deleting it.
You were like on the cutting edge of Temu, and you were beta testing Snapchat AI for a week. You were like, let's see what this can do.
And it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I just like.
What did it do? Did it talk to you?
The Snapchat AI?
Yeah.
Yeah. It for sure. Like I would have like.
Go back 30 minutes in this podcast, and Miles was like, why do we want this?
Because I feel. Hey, know thy enemy.
keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer.
Hey, it's a spectrum.
I keep ChatGPT. What do you think about this AI stuff, Miles? It's a spectrum. What are you gonna do about it? And people are like, "What?" And you're like, "I don't know.
I don't know.
It is what it is, you know."
Like I don't know. I think AI at the end of the day is like a toy. It's just like
a toy for government.
Yeah, now, but like I think now it's just like it used to just be a toy. Like I used to just like play around with it and just like make stories.
Yeah, what happened to like the Obama and the Trump like AI deep fakes where they were like playing Minecraft together? That was the fun arc of AI.
Yeah.
And then that went away, and I don't really know. I'm not gonna lie to you, like it went away and I didn't really notice.
Yeah.
One day I was just like, damn, I haven't seen any of those AI deep fakes in so long. And then it got really real. Fast.
I think now what they do with the deepfakes is like I still see like
so fucked
the
up.
Avatar. I still see like the Avatar stuff, like when he's like singing and shit, and it's like funny, but like
those kind of deepfakes are fine.
But like there's like some really dangerous deepfakes.
Making deepfakes of real people is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and then putting them on like
fucking crazy,
gross like.
Yeah, like making them like in compromising positions.
Yeah,
it's
like that's
sexual
weird.
Stuff.
That's gross. Don't do that.
That's so fucked.
Don't do that because that's just like, yeah.
But that's what I feel like. That's what these like AI girlfriends are kind of. It's like, it had to make a picture of a woman, and it's like it took that from everything that's been uploaded. So it's like the whole thing is just like don't do that. By the way, don't do that.
Please don't do that. But again,
not a thing you should do.
Just try to just try your best to meet people.
You're just doing Snap. You're just over here. What are you? You paying for the paying for the ChatGPT Plus?
No.
You get Dolly with that though, and you can make images and stuff.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I do think that's kind of cool. I mean, I did try it once.
It is actually great for like making Substack cover photos.
You think?
Yeah, like what Jeremiah does with it. Yeah, Jeremiah uses Dolly to get like cover photos for some of his AI stuff.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool for that.
I named my AI Zuno. I forgot that.
There's an AI. Wait, you have an AI?
Yeah, his name is Zuno. I don't talk to him anymore. That's the Snapchat AI.
You named your Snapchat
Yeah,
AI.
I was like, can I give you a different name? And he was like, yeah, sure. And
We might have to wrap. We might have to get out of
this
here.
is like okay, yeah.
We
This
might
is
have to
like
get outta
a
here.
week. This is like a month ago, to be honest with you. This wasn't even like not a month ago. This was like
yesterday.
no, I literally haven't talked to them like since because I was like, this is weird. Like, cause even my girlfriend was just like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, it's a fun thing to do.
This is fun to talk with a robot friend. It's gonna be so wild whenever everyone has their own everyone will have their own AI.
I mean, they already do. It's not.
But like there will be like an NFT
Yeah.
that is an AI.
Yeah.
And you will probably be able to own your own AI.
Yeah.
And it will be able to do things for you. Like do your taxes.
I think
that'd be great.
I think that would be great.
That'd
That's a
be
useful thing to use the
fantastic.
AI for.
AI is good for like doctors. Doctors should use it.
Yeah.
First responders should use it.
But it shouldn't be used for weapons.
No. And when I say first responders, I mean like firefighters,
Yeah.
paramedics.
No, I agree.
It should be used for those things. It should be used for our scientific advancements.
No, I agree.
STEM, those kind of things.
There's like this one like anime where how like what they did with like nukes, how like every country signed a treaty. They did it with
Yeah.
AIs, where they signed a treaty where like AIs cannot be used for harmful.
Oh, this happened?
Yeah, in anime.
Oh, in an anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might. I
Well,
mean, I think it should happen. In
We
real
need it to
life,
happen
too.
in real life. It probably
think-
will at some point. I can't imagine that there won't be some sort of like international agreement
Because that's dangerous.
it could be it could get real squirrely real fast.
No, I agree.
Real fast.
Squirrely.
But it could it could get real messy real quick if everyone's just fucking around with AI.
Yeah.
But apparently that's like what Israel's doing. It's like I'm not trying to open that can of worms, but I saw a thing that they're like using some AI program that like targets. I don't even want to know. It's just like the whole thing is like, can we not
I mean,
do that?
I remember.
Please.
Was it either China or it was either I think it was
China.
I think it was China that was using. They actually like this was like a long time ago, but I remember hearing that I remember learning that they used an AI to be able to find like people like they were trying to create an AI that was able to like find people and charge them with charge them with criminal offenses or create like a possibility of create like a thing where they could possibly do this crime, which is like dangerous because then it's like assuming
You can just use that to pin a crime on anybody.
on anyone.
You can just
yeah.
use it to target. I was
On
gonna say
anyone.
immediately. My brain was
anyone.
like, "That's not great." Yeah, man, that is
Yeah.
wild.
This is an interesting conversation though. I look, all in all, love is love, and I just like
Are we done? Well, you do have to get out of here.
I do have to
soon,
get out of
don't
here
you?
because I have a have to sing today. But like,
You do.
look, if there's one thing I want everyone to take from this, like, look, for one, love is love. I do believe that, but I think two, please chill out with the AI stuff, man. Just like, and like, just also give Gen Z a break, bro. Like, can we just get like, we're stressed out over here. This has been a stressful semester.
Yeah,
More
this
stressful than it
semester.
needs to be. But like, give us a break, y'all. Like, let us just do what we do and just be patient to know that it's gonna be okay. And
Yeah,
please don't use the AI girlfriend.
and don't use the AI girlfriend.
Please don't.
Go outside and
I love and respect y'all, but
get a hobby.
please just don't. Just don't.
Go to a park with a football.
Play with your other
And-
friends
and
who have
play
AI
with- and
girlfriends.
play- bring your AI girlfriend to the park and play football with her. That'll be a time. There will be physical form.
Oh
and
my
that will be-
gosh! I mean, they kind of already had that. They're just not as advanced.
Huh?
The Tesla bots.
Yes, the Tesla bots. Yeah, they'll load up the AI girlfriend into a. They'll charge you for that, by the way. Body sold separately.
That's
Fucked up.
and then like now and then next we're
And
gonna
Apple
have, like,
will make one.
yeah,
And it will be like the arms are sold separately.
But then
the
there's gonna
legs
be
are
a thing
sold
where now it's
separately.
like, oh, you can't mistreat these like robots.
There will be robot rights.
Bro.
AI rights will become a thing.
We watch movies, but that shit is. We are like weirdly transitioning into that stuff.
Yeah. The sci-fi movies are looking oddly
Too
more and more real
Yeah.
as we go along. Wow, what an interesting time. I think that's where, because you gotta get out of here. I think that's
Yeah.
where we'll wrap it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Miles Hanna will be Well, you'll be graduating.
Yes, I will.
And then will you be staying? You're gonna be in the area for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
probably I'm really trying to be in the area for the summer.
Okay.
Because if like I said, I recently got this great opportunity.
Mhm.
That I might possibly be in Minnesota for. I'm not gonna go into much detail until like I know what's going on.
Sure.
But like it's I might be there for a year, or I might just go to New York after the summer.
Mhm.
But like great things are happening. Very grateful, very blessed for everything that's going on
Mhm.
and everything. But yeah, it's man, it's life is moving and it's but
And what do we say?
it's a spectrum.
We wish him well.
Oh yeah.
We wish him well.
Thank
Miles,
you.
Hanna. No, you'll be on the show. We'll do another
yeah.
episode. The people will see you again before you leave for New York.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But thank you for coming by the studio today. We didn't talk about Rent, but you were in Rent. And it was phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Rent was great.
With like the greatest cast ever, the greatest director. This director was literally the human epitome of grace.
Yeah. It was a really fun show.
Honestly, the whole production team was just awesome. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wish you well, buddy.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you
And
too.
and we'll see you later.
And we love Gavin.
Yes, we love you too, Gavin. Producer Gavin's back there. Don't forget
Producer
about
Gavin.
Gavin. All right, bye everybody. Hopefully Pittsburgh's not underwater next week.